Good morning. So today we have Joan here and we are working through chamber explorations. I am getting Joan set up today. And here we are. There we go.
Okay. All right. I will talk with you about some exciting trips all over the world and tell you what you need to know. If you're interested in signing up for any of these trips, they're all open at this point. So I will go ahead and get started. I've been doing presentations here at the Chamber for quite a while, and I have enjoyed meeting so many of you. So we're going to talk about trips for 2025. And there is a lot of destinations that you can visit through the Fresno Chamber. So I'll tell you just a little bit about our company. We've been around for a long time, over 25 years is our anniversary year. We started in 1999. So we're excited to offer trips to active adults all over the world. I like to say I know because I go. I just recently returned from Iceland in April, had a wonderful experience. And Iceland is like Yellowstone and Alaska on steroids. It's absolutely beautiful, one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, with the waterfalls, the geysers, just absolutely incredible. And those are the type of bucket list destinations that we offer to you. And we have a wide variety that you can enjoy through the chamber. A little bit about our company. We are a full service tour operator out of Redondo Beach, and we offer vacation packages, guided vacations all over the world. So we include quality hotel accommodations. You have an experienced tour director that's with you. You have local guides. You have a very nice modern motor coach and a great driver who's there with GPS, so you don't have to worry about knowing where you're going. He'll take care of that. Breakfast is included daily. It's usually a buffet. There are some lunches and dinners included along the way, including the welcome and farewell dinners. Baggage handling is included for your large bag at all the hotels. And then we do include quite a bit of sightseeing. So I'll talk about each trip just a little bit and then tell you what you need to know before you go. So one of our first trips that's still available, it's going to be closing soon, is our Treasures of Ireland, departing March 25th for 9 days. This is a great tour. It travels around, starting and ending in Dublin. Then we'll go to Limerick, and then we'll go to Killarney, and then we'll do one final night at a castle. So Dublin, one of the most fabulous cities to visit, full of excitement and all kinds of fun things to do while you're there. We're going to be having a welcome dinner that first night to have you get together with your guide and your fellow travelers to start out your tour. That's how all of our tours start. And then the next day, you'll start out sightseeing. So we will be doing a Dublin city tour. We'll be going through Christchurch Cathedral, which is absolutely beautiful. I was there and saw the choir boys that were basically cleaning the lights there in the church that were absolutely beautiful. You'll be going to the Trinity College and you'll be seeing the Book of Kells on our city tour. And then we also will be going to visit a whiskey distillery. We use Jameson's. That's typically the whiskey distillery we like to visit. And it's a great one. Huge history there in Ireland and known for their Irish whiskey really all over the world. Also on our tour, besides doing your whiskey tour and tasting, you're also going to be doing a pub dinner afterwards. So you have great food at all the pubs there in Ireland. So I think you'll thoroughly enjoy that. That's where you can get amazing fish and chips, bangers and mash, all the different types of things that you may have heard of, but maybe you haven't tasted them all yet. Next day, we'll be touring the Guinness Storehouse, which is, I like to say, it's about 7 floors, and it's full of really history about Guinness. So when you're here in the Guinness Storehouse, it does have an elevator that can get you through, but it does have stairs as well. So you'll learn all about the beer making process, and then you will end at the top where you will learn how to pour the perfect Guinness, which is about a 2 minute process and it's a two-step pour. So when they pour it, they will pour about half and then they'll let it settle. And they say Americans are too um, much of a hurry to do it the right way. So they're going to teach you the right way. Then they're going to pour the rest of the Guinness. And then when they serve it to you, they'll slide it over to you with the beautiful shamrock in the head of the beer. So it's really a fun experience. And then the view from the top overlooking the whole city of Dublin is amazing. So you'll love that as well. You'll also be touring through Limerick, and you'll be getting to see some beautiful churches such as St. Mary's Cathedral as you go through town. You'll also see castles all over Ireland. One of them that we like to visit is King John's Castle, just to let you see how old some of these things are here in Ireland, because the history over here is much, much older than what it is in the USA. So, in the USA, if something's 100, 200, maybe 300 years old, it's very old. But over here in Ireland and in other parts of Europe, you have things that are really old, a whole different century, and just a completely different architecture. So you'll learn all about that as you visit some of the castles. One of the fun things that we like to include, and a lot of tour operators have this as an option, is going to Bunratty Castle. And what we're going to be doing there is having a medieval banquet. And they do have entertainment and they have great food. And it's just a really fun evening here in Ireland. So if you've never done something like this, it's really something that you'll always remember. And normally an option like this, if you had to buy it extra, would be probably a couple $100 easily, including transportation. But we like to include this kind of thing in the package because it really makes the tour special. So there are no options on this tour, they're all included. So Cliffs of Moher is a beautiful scenic drive that we'll be taking, several 100-foot cliffs that you see as you travel along Ireland, along the coastline. You'll also go through the Burin, which was created with the Ice Age, and then you will go into Galway, another beautiful little city along the water. One of the things that I love to talk about are some of the differences when you go to Ireland. And this is one. We don't have any homes here with thatched roofs, and they do in Ireland. I was able to see them. They'll talk with you about them, how they're made, how long they last. And it's really an interesting experience to learn all about these thatched roofs because it's just totally different from anything that we have here in the USA. You'll go on into Killarney, which is a beautiful little village, and we're going to be boarding a horse and buggy for a fun jaunting car ride. This is how we will take you through Killarney National Park. It's a beautiful ride, and then your tour will end at Muckross House and Gardens, which is one of the most beautiful homes in Ireland. So folks always enjoy getting to see that along that gorgeous ride. This evening, we have a traditional Irish entertainment and dinner included. So everyone always enjoys doing that. It is just, great food. You have really good cold beer and you have Irish stories. You might have some music, just a little bit of everything there. You'll see just anything goes in Ireland. And the later you get in the evening, you'll find it gets a little bit off color sometimes too, but that's when it really gets kind of funny and everyone has a good time. It's not too far off, but it's a little bit extra and kind of a kick. Then you'll be traveling along the scenic Ring of Kerry, which is one of the most scenic drives up in Ireland. And you'll be going on to the Dingle Peninsula, which is a beautiful area up going a little further north. And we will be making a stop to kiss the Blarney Stone. You do have to walk up some stairs to get up here to the top, and then you bend over backwards if you'd like to kiss the stone. If you already have the gift of gab, maybe you don't want to do this because that's what it's supposed to give you. So if you want to do that, you can do that. If you don't want to go climb those stairs and go up there, you do not have to do that. Everything on the tour is optional, I want to mention. But we always like to talk to you about things like this, especially when there's a significant amount of stairs. We will have a castle stay our last night in Ireland, and everyone always enjoys that. So that's certainly something that you can do. You can go into one of the old pubs, and they do have nice accommodations, but you really get to go into the castle where you'll have dinner and you'll be able to go into the pub and see what the castles are like. They're pretty primitive. So there's only a couple now that where you can actually stay, and they've built hotels right next to the old castle that's there. So it gives you the opportunity to see the old castle, but you still have the amenities that you would prefer when you travel. This is Dublin. When you come back, you'll be traveling over Halfpenny Bridge. You used to have to pay to cross it. You don't any longer. The only thing that we have that is extra, if you'd like to continue on, we do have a 2-night extension if you'd like to go further into the north up to Belfast and Derry. And what people do up here is they will go and visit the Belfast Castle. They'll also want to see the beautiful City Hall. And then one of the highlights is going to the Titanic Museum up here, which you'll have the opportunity to see the replica of what they believe the Titanic looked like inside here at the museum, and the beautiful staircases, the bedrooms, so many things to see here that you'll be amazed at how it looked back then. Another stop is the Giant's Causeway, which is in the very north part of Ireland. That's as far as you can go, and then you're at the sea. You'll see all about these hexagonal type stones that are here. You'll be able to visit the visitor center and learn all about it. So flyers are here at the chamber for all of these tours. They always include the price of airfare, taxes, destination transfers. The only thing not included on this Ireland is if you wanted to do the extension up to the north. Otherwise, the base tour includes everything, and there is still some space. You would expect weather to be in the 50s, and currency is on the euro. And we do have a good number of people already signed up on this one. The last time I looked at this, if I had to guess, I'd say there's maybe 10 or 15 seats left. So this is not something you want to wait on if this is a trip that you'd like to make, because it will be closing very soon. Airfare typically is valid on all the flyers here at the chamber until 90 days out. At 90 days out, now we have to go after air, and it could have increased at that point. So just wanted to make you aware of that. And then I'll give you information, and it's on all the flyers too, if you'd like to book, how you call our office and actually talk to a reservationist. So the next tours are April 1, Holland Tulips and Rhine River Castles River Cruise. This is a great trip with 1 night in Amsterdam and 7 nights on the Amadeus Cara, which is a beautiful ship. Right now on this one, there's about 70 people booked out of a potential 144. So the ship is about half full right now. And what people love about river cruises is the floating hotel. So you have 1 night in a hotel, then 7 nights on a low slung, sexy riverboat sailing along the beautiful Rhine River. It's really one of the premier river cruise trips to take. I've been on this one and can tell you it's absolutely spectacular. So you start out in Amsterdam, 1 night in a hotel. Next day, you'll be doing a tour of Amsterdam. You'll be taken to Keukenhof Gardens, one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. There are literally millions of tulips here, every color of the rainbow. And I have to tell you that tulips in Amsterdam, or the Netherlands, basically, they bloom for about 6 weeks. They'll never do that in your yard unless you cheat like they do here in the Netherlands. So what they do is they put tulips into hothouses and they turn the temperature down so they think it's winter. When they want them to bloom, they turn it up so they think it's spring, and then they plant them through all these fields. So, and the tulips will last roughly maybe about a week. So they're constantly redoing this, and they have a lot of gardeners here on staff, but these gardens are beautiful. They also have some hothouses here on their grounds that are perfectly climate controlled, so it keeps them blooming longer than ever. Like, when you have them in your home, they're outside, so they're out to the elements, which makes them really die a lot sooner. So just want you to know that Amsterdam has the most beautiful tulips ever, and you can buy bulbs and send them home if you want to. On the Amsterdam City Tour, you're going to see beautiful sites all over the city, gorgeous buildings. You're also going to take an Amsterdam Canal cruise, which is a great way to see the city. And then you're going to be going over to board the Amadeus Cara. This ship was launched in 2022, and it's a beautiful river ship, as you can see here. Absolutely beautiful. The top deck is a 180-degree view of the whole area. The next deck down is basically the lounge, and below that is the dining room. So here's some pictures of the interior of the ship. This is the bar lounge area. And I want to mention that on all of our ships, we do include free Wi-Fi. You also have 3 meals a day, plus you have in-between snacks and things that are offered on board ship. So the dining room is beautiful. It's all linen tablecloths. You have great wait staff to take care of your every need. It's all off the menu, And whenever you travel with the chamber, we always have reserved seats for dinner. There's no worrying about where you're going to be seated. It's open seating for breakfast and lunch, but dinner is reserved seating. So you just go in and you get served off the menu, whatever you'd like. And there are daily favorites, and then there are some that are on there for the whole menu that are alternate items as well. So there's always something for somebody to eat. We can take care of any food allergies that you may have. You just need to tell us that when you book your tour. So here's a deck plan for the river cruise. So you have the Sun deck, the Mozart deck, the Strauss, and the Hayden. So let me show you what the cabins look like because this will tell you a lot. These are our suites. These are 284 square feet with a walkout balcony. So very, very nice. You don't have to worry. You have a big bathroom. You have beds that can be separate as twins, or they can go together and be a big queen. And then you have a big screen TV, a nice big bathroom, a walk-in closet, safe, everything. The next deck down, category A through C on Mozart and Strauss. Look at the curtain there along the left side. And behind that curtain, there's a button that you push. And that takes the top of that full window into the bottom. And you see there's a line across the middle there. That's now an open air balcony in your stateroom. So it's a really nice cabin to be in. I've been in that before myself. Absolutely love staying there. 188 square feet, very comfortable, still walk-in closet, big shower. They do have hair dryers in the rooms and they have toiletry items, so pretty much everything you need. The lowest price cabin is on our Hayden deck. That's 172 square feet. These have a fixed window up at the top. So you can see that window there. It does not open. These are just slightly smaller. You still have a closet with a safe and everything, but just a little bit smaller square footage. The cruise lines are absolutely, the ships are beautiful. They're floating hotels, and you will be stopping at multiple cities along the way, such as Cologne, where you'll see the beautiful cathedral in the heart of the city. We also do a Kolsch beer tasting while we're here, and you will have some free time to explore some of the shops and all the things that are here after you do your walking tour with your guide to learn all about the city. We will be cruising along the beautiful Moselle River, and I like to say you're practically floating on Riesling because you have Riesling grapes growing on both sides of the river. It's really one of the most majestic places to cruise in Europe. You'll arrive in Koheim, which is a gorgeous little village, and they do have a castle up at the top of the hill. If you'd like to visit the castle, you can. You do have a bus that would pick you up right there at the ship and take you up to the castle because it would be a really difficult walk. And then they'll take you down into the city for a little walking tour, and you have a chance to do some wine tasting if you like. You'll continue on your cruise and you'll stop in Koblenz, where you'll have a really nice walking tour of Koblenz. You'll get to see how people live in Europe, and you'll have a chance to really see where the confluence of the rivers come together. You'll continue cruising along the Rhine River Gorge, which is one of the deepest gorges on the Rhine, and you'll see castles on both sides of the river. We'll be stopping in Rudesheim, where you can try the Rudesheimer coffee, which is really one of the most fun things I've ever done on one of my trips. They give you a cup. They put 2 lumps of sugar in the bottom. They pour in the Osba, which is like a brandy. Then they light it on fire, which caramelizes the sugar. Then they add coffee and whipped cream and chocolate shavings. And by the time you finish that, you're ready to go shopping, and who knows what you'll buy. And then all you have to worry about is finding the ship to go back to continue sailing along. But it's a really fun experience if you've never done it. I highly recommend it. We'll have a little walking tour in Speyer, which is a neat little town along the river, has a beautiful cathedral, and you can get out. And one of the things I love to do in a little town like this is find a little grocery store and go inside and see all the different things that they sell here and how small they are. Homes are small in Europe, but that's their way of living, and people love it. They don't shop for a month like we do here sometimes at Costco. They don't do that. They don't have homes big enough to handle that kind of thing. But it's still interesting to see some of these little towns and see different ways of life because it's very different from us. We do stop in Strasbourg, which is a beautiful city there in France. And I like to say it is a little petite France because it's really beautiful. And one of the ways that we will travel along is on the canal on a boat cruise. And I want to go back a slide because as you can see, these lines on these buildings mean something. So you'll hear about that when you're on your tour. It might mean something about how many children they have in their family or things like that, but it's really interesting when you travel through some of these little towns and you hear all about them. But a great way to travel around is on the canal cruise, because then you'll end up here at the Strasbourg Cathedral. You'll see the astronomical clock, which is so beautiful, and you'll have a chance to go inside that cathedral as well, which is really majestic and on the interior side. We will disembark the ship in Basel, Switzerland. We will have an Basel city tour before we continue on. If you want to end your trip there, you can. You can go to Zurich and fly out to come back home. We do have an optional extension on our river cruises for people who have what I call the might as wells and they want to keep going. We do an extension that goes to Lucerne, and Lucerne is probably only about an hour from Basel, and you'll do a 2-night stay on Lake Lucerne, and you'll have a chance to walk the old town, the Chapel Bridge, and everything, and you have a chance to have some shopping time before you fly, and then you'd come home on day 12. So pricing is listed on the flyers. It's also listed here on the screen. I also want to mention one thing that I haven't yet. Regarding all of our trips that we have here, on all of our trips, we have a savings that we offer. There's a lower price and there's a higher price on every flyer. So what does that lower price mean to you as a traveler? That means there's a savings. And just like at the gas station, if you buy in cash, you save money. If you pay by credit card, you pay the higher price per gallon. Well, it's the same thing here. Here you can make your deposit by credit card, and you can make your final payment by check, and you can save $100 to $200 per person. It's an option. It's not mandatory. You also can use credit cards if you have cash back cards. So the next tour we're going to talk about is our Washington, D.C. Cherry Blossoms, which departs April the 7th. And it has 5 nights in Washington, D.C. at either the Westin or the Gaylord National Resort. And what people love about this is it's 5 nights in one hotel. So you don't have to move your bags. You just stay there the whole time you're gone. 8 meals are included, breakfast every day, plus 1 lunch and 2 dinners. So I'll tell you some of the things that people want to do when they're in Washington, D.C. is see all the sites, see the memorials, see the National Cemetery, the changing of the guard, the White House. Now, if you want to tour inside the White House, I want to stop here for a moment because you do have to have reservations to do this. And it does take a better part of a day if you want to tour that. And you may even have to contact your congressman for that to happen, or book a tour with a company that already has tickets set up for the White House. Otherwise, you can't just walk in. Because you never know if there's dignitaries that might be visiting from other countries. So it's not always just open for business, for tourists, I mean. Now, you are going to be seeing a lot of the memorials along the way. This is when the cherry blossoms are in bloom. Cherry blossom trees were a gift from France, so you'll learn all about that while you're there. And then, I'm sorry, from China. And then you will also see many other memorials as you do your tour. And keep in mind that the buses can't just stop everywhere when you're in Washington, D.C. There's certain places they can stop to let you off to take pictures, but then there are some places that we have scheduled stops for you to get out and enjoy, being there and getting good shots. But some areas they may just have to slow down and let you take pictures because they can't actually stop if the traffic is really great. So we just have to play that by ear. We do include a lunch cruise on the Potomac on the beautiful Odyssey 3, which is a great way to see Washington, D.C. from a different vantage point. So you can see you have the Lincoln Memorial in the back, but you will go by many memorials along this route, and you'll see the National Mall as well. Now, we do have free time on day 3 where you can go to some of the Smithsonian's if you like. Some people really like to have a lot of time at Smithsonian. Some people don't like as much as others. So it's definitely something that everyone has to do in their own way. We give you a map and you can do as much or as little as you want. If you want more time than what we've allotted, you could always add a day at the end and fly home a day later to have a whole free day for just Smithsonian's if that's of interest to you. We are going to be doing a DC illumination tour at night. We call it a twilight tour. So you'll get on a motor coach and it's about a 1-hour driving tour of the city to see the city all lit up at night, which is really beautiful. The memorials are all flood lit and it's really a scenic thing that many people say is a highlight of the tour. Next day, we'll continue on to Annapolis, Maryland, to the U.S. Naval Academy. You'll learn about the men and women who graduated from here. You may need to show your real ID here because this is a Naval Academy, so be prepared for that. If we need anything more than just your real ID, we would let you know because more and more places like this are requiring ID before you go in for security. The U.S. Capitol Hill Visitor Center is the stop that we'll be making. You can go inside this big rotunda and you can see these massive paintings that are inside that are like 2 stories tall, absolutely gorgeous. And you'll learn all about all the things that happen here at Capitol Hill. You'll also be visiting Mount Vernon, which was the home of George and Martha Washington. You can go inside the home. You can see their gardens out back. And it's really just a really beautiful place. You'll see the grave sites, everything here at Mount Vernon. Tour is departing on April 7th, pricing listed here. I do want to mention single supplement, what that means. I've had a lot of people ask me that over the years. We price all of our tours on double occupancy, so 2 people to a room sharing with 2 beds in the room, unless you specifically ask for 1 bed because you're a couple that wants a single bed, that's fine. If you're a single person, you do have to pay a single supplement. So for example, if just in round numbers to make it easy on you to figure out, if the hotel rooms were $200 a night, you'd have to pay the additional part of the room. So say $100 a night plus tax for the single supplement on this tour. So that's a 5-night tour. So you can kind of get an idea of why the single supplement is $825. So that's how the single supplement works. So you always either want to find a partner or you can sometimes come to meetings and you can meet other like-minded travelers like yourself. And that really is a fun way to do it. Then you can go as double occupancy and also save money, which many people like. So the next tour on my list here is the Highlights of Scandinavia, July 17th. It's 11 days. And I'll tell you what people love about this tour. It's 11 days, 14 meals, 9 nights hotel accommodations. It visits Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. All 3 countries here, they're in the Scandinavian countries, which people love. It's a very beautiful area to visit. I'll show you just a few of the highlights on this tour. So you go into Stockholm, you'll be able to do a city tour and see the Royal Palace. You'll also see the historic Old Town. You'll take a scenic drive to Oslo, going through some of the most beautiful mountain scenery you've ever seen in your life. Massive mountains along the way. Once you're in Oslo, you'll have a chance to do a city tour and you will see the Royal Palace. You'll also see beautiful sculptures at some of these different parks that we'll be visiting along the way. Next, we'll be going into Oslo. We'll board the Vi train. These trains in Europe are absolutely spectacular. They go very fast. Typically, it's well over 180 miles an hour, very safe. This is how people get around a lot faster than you can by car. So we do a train ride on this one versus doing a flight because it's really a scenic ride. So look at your train ride, the beautiful scenery that you're going to be going through. Absolutely gorgeous. You'll also be taking the Flam train, which is a big highlight. And then you'll be also going along and seeing the fjord cruise. So this is what people love to do while they're here, is having a chance to see some of these most beautiful areas of the Scandinavian countries. The fjords are just majestic. It's like a big glacier lake. So it's really something to see. You'll also visit a Norwegian sheep farm. You'll learn all about sheep shearing and how quickly they can do how many sheep in a day. It's incredible. I mean, what a workout that is, doing that for a living. You'll continue on to Bergen for 2 nights. Bergen is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and we will do a city tour. You'll also board the Mount Fløyen cable car to go up to the top of the mountain for the most beautiful view of this whole area. In Bergen, you'll have a flight there to get to Copenhagen. You'll go to Copenhagen for 2 nights, and you will see the beautiful Tivoli Gardens. Absolutely gorgeous. Great place to take awesome pictures. And you will also have a chance to visit the Royal Palace while you're here on your city tour. And you will see many of the guards that are here, and you'll see a little parade. Lots of things to see along the way. In Copenhagen, you'll see the Little Mermaid statue that's here. So very much a highlight on this tour. So flyers again here at the chamber. So come and pick up some flyers or give them a call and they can even email it to you. The next tour on my list is our Athens and Greek Islands tour, which departs September 30th. This is featuring Mykonos and Santorini, 9 days, and we do have an extension if you'd like to go to Kalimbaka and Delphi. So, but the main tour is this. It is 7 nights hotel accommodations, 2 nights in Athens, 2 nights in Santorini, and you'll have 2 nights there in Mykonos and one final night in Athens before you fly home. What people love about going to Greece is how beautiful it is. You have an Athens city tour to see many of the popular sites, including the beautiful Acropolis. So if you've never been to the Acropolis, you will definitely enjoy doing that. Keep in mind, Greece is a level 4 walking tour, so it's probably some of the most difficult walking of any place in Europe. And it's because of this, the off the beaten paths and also the rocks and things you may be walking over. So you want to be in good shape and a lot of stairs and some inclines along the way. You go by high-speed ferry from Athens to Mykonos. Once you get to Mykonos, you will stay 2 nights there overlooking the sea, which is absolutely beautiful. And what people love about Mykonos versus doing a cruise, when you do a cruise, you're there during the middle of the day at Mykonos, but you miss the best part of Mykonos, which is nighttime. At night in Mykonos, that is when you have a chance to have the dinner, you have the sunset, the glass of wine, and the most beautiful part of all is when those ships leave, they take 3,000 people with them, and now the island is peaceful. So people love staying on the island and being an islander. We will be going by ferry from Mykonos to Delos, where you'll have a chance to tour Delos and see some of the incredible ruins that are here. Then you'll continue on and you will go by high-speed ferry to Santorini. Santorini, really known for options. When you go to the top, you have to decide if you're going to take the tram or the donkey. So just be prepared for that. I highly recommend the tram. It's a lot more, let's say, sturdy and predictable. So I'm not a big fan of the donkeys. I would be scared to death if I had to do that. But Santorini is absolutely beautiful. You have these blue and white beautiful buildings. You're built on a volcano. You do have wonderful wine tasting while you're up here. You'll visit the Oya village. As you can see here, it's up or down on this part of the mountain. You do have some leisure time to do whatever you want. You can go to the beach, you can go to the museum, shopping, dining. There's tons of things to see and do there. Then you will take your high-speed ferry back to Athens and you will have a chance to tour around Athens. You can see the museums, you can go to the Plaka, you can go back to the Acropolis if you want to see more of this that I'm showing you on the screen. This is the Acropolis, and you can see how difficult the walking would be here. And then here in Athens, tons of things to see and do. So you have just a variety of things. So it's your choice. If you want to extend, we have a 3-night Delphi Kalimbaka post-tour extension where you will have a chance to see the Meteor and Ministories there in Kalimbaka. You also will have a chance to go to modern Delphi and ancient Delphi. So if that's of interest to you, come and grab a flyer here at the chamber and let us know if you have any questions. The last tour I'm going to mention today is our Treasures of Croatia and Slovenia, 11 days departing October 14th, featuring Lake Bled, Plitvice Lakes, Dalmatian Coast, Diocletian's Palace, and Old Dubrovnik. This is one of the most gorgeous places I've ever been to. And what I loved is it's very safe. The Croats are very proud, so they would rather work than beg. They would, it's very clean. I didn't see a lot of graffiti here. It was absolutely beautiful. So 9 nights hotels are included. It's an overnight flight to get there. And then you have multiple nights as you travel along. You start and end the tour in Zagreb, which is the capital of Croatia. You'll go through St. Stephen's Cathedral and you'll do a walking tour of Zagreb to learn all about it here. And I have to tell you, one of the funniest things that I saw in Zagreb was a sign in front of a pub that said, beer as cold as my ex's heart. So that's really cold. You will travel through Ljubljana, absolutely beautiful city with canals going through it. We will go to the Postnja Cave. This is where you'll go in by electric train and you'll have a chance to see some of the different formations here, stalactites and stalagmites that are here in the area. You will visit Lake Bled in Slovenia, absolutely one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my whole life. So really loved getting to go here. Continuing on in Croatia, you'll go into Split, which is very much like Nice in France. Absolutely beautiful. They have this promenade where you can walk along. They have great gelato. They also have Diocletian's Palace, which is very old. It was buried underground, and you'll have a chance to tour some of that and see the sights. You'll continue along the Dalmatian coast. You'll visit the little town of Stone, which is a walled city, as you can see there on the screen. And what you'll learn about in Stone is they have salt works, and you'll learn all about the salt that is mined here. Continue on in Dubrovnik. This is the old town of Dubrovnik. You'll see the medieval walls. You can go buy a ticket and you can walk the outside of the walls of Dubrovnik, and I've done it. It's absolutely incredible. Old Town Dubrovnik, one of my favorite places I've ever been. Tons of different places to eat, to shop, you name it. It's not terribly expensive, but it was really historic. This is their water fountain. You can get safe drinking water right here and refill your bottle for free. You'll continue when you leave Dubrovnik, going through Troger, the Old Town area, and then you'll continue into Plitvice Lakes National Park, one of the most beautiful parks you've ever seen. 18 tiered lakes, and you get there by a boat. And once you get out there, you'll be doing a walking tour all over Plitvice Lakes, and then you'll end your tour in Zagreb with a final night dinner, and then you'll fly home the next day. What you need to know before you go, you should have a passport. Passports should be valid for 6 months beyond the travel date. So just want you to be aware of that. You also need to buy your travel insurance at the same time as you buy your tour. Make sure you read what the travel insurance includes. There are two parts to this, Part A and Part B. So read that so that you understand what would happen if you had to cancel your tour. And our travel cancellation policy is always on the back of every flyer, and you can ask questions as well. If you've traveled with the chamber in the last year, you do have a travel credit. We keep track of this, so you do not need to worry about this. But if you travel within 24 months, you do have a $100 credit off of your next tour. So you just sign up for your tours, and we'll let you know if you have a travel savings, and we'll take it off your final payment. So how do you book your tour? You can do it this way. You can sign up with the forms on the back of the flyers, and you can give it to someone here at the chamber, or I can make it really easy on you. You can call our phone number, 877-953-8687, and you can book over the phone. You can look at that reservation form on the back. They'll ask you all those questions. They'll enter it over the phone, and you don't have to write anything. Also, you can call me. My phone number is listed there, 209-606-0958. My name is Joan Thornton. I come here to the chamber 2 or 3 times a year to do presentations like this, and I'm happy to help you however I can. This is the phone number for the Fresno Chamber here on the screen, and our phone number there on the flyer or on the screen as well for our reservations team. If you have questions about air or anything else, you let us know, and we will take care of it for you and answer all your questions. There's my business card here on the screen. Feel free to call me or email me if you have questions. I'm happy to help you. Here I'm in Iceland with one of our owners, had a fantastic time, and just want you to know that we appreciate all of you that have traveled with us in the past, and we look forward to you going again. That would be the end of my presentation, and I want to thank you for your time today and hope to see you at the next presentation.